So I was watching this video the other day, and well, first of all, it didn't need to be 8 minutes long, because I'll just tell you right now, the reason every Sinnoh team is the same is because these are the only 6 Pokemon in the Gen 4 games. But anyways, it was like, oh, Staraptor is cooler than Unpheasant, which is just not true. Unpheasant is awesome. And the reason for that is sexual selection.
Oh yeah!
So when I was little, I was always really confused by why the female Unpheasant is the plainer looking one and why the male one was like pink, because like I thought the female Pokemon were supposed to be pink, right? But I realized recently that this is just like an example of sexual selection, which is kind of rare in Pokemon. Like there's definitely gender differences, but I think this is like one of the few that show real sexual selection. So sexual selection is selective forces organisms exert on other members of species to influence mating. The most famous example of this in birds is male peacocks, which have these really big feathers with these like eye patterns on them. And having big feathers is like correlated with having stronger offspring. And that's why peacocks have evolved to have these feathers to show females that they're so strong and so mateable. Yeah, and sexual selection can be seen in Unpheasant, firstly in its wattles. So yeah, wattles, if you didn't know, are these like mask things that some birds have, like roosters. They also have red wattles, just like Unpheasant. And wattles are also a way to show how breedable you are. So apparently large wattles are correlated with high testosterone levels, which may indicate that you might be a good mate to have offspring with. Also, Unpheasant has these little like line things coming out of its wattle. It has like these tail feather things that come out of its head, which when I was looking up clips of birds of paradise and sexual selection for this video, I just saw this bird for like half a second and I was like, holy shit, that's literally Unpheasant. So this is the king of Saxony, and it also has these little head wires that come out of its head to help it attract mates. And here's a clip.
But on his courtship display territory, he really uses these feathers for maximal effect.
This is also broadly why I just think more Pokemon should be believable, realistic animals, because animals are awesome. Okay, and also sexual selection is not just seen in its design. Unpheasant also gets the hidden ability Rivalry, which raises its attack against enemy Pokemon of the same gender, which is probably a reference to how males will compete with each other to attract mates. So yeah, Staraptor might get like cool coverage moves, it gets like close combat or whatever, but it also gets male pattern baldness, so we all know who the cooler bird is.
My roommates probably hate me for that.
Oh, and I almost forgot, the homework for today's lecture is to read this chapter on sexual selection that I found from a random textbook online. Optionally, you can also watch the rest of the King of Saxony video that I showed. And don't forget to study up for the quiz next Tuesday.